Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. You are watching the Kaiser Report. We're coming to you today with a lot of news that may or may not interest you. I'm sure that you were all inundated yesterday with the fact that Kristi Noem has been moved out of the position as Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security and that she will be replaced by Mark Wayne Mullen. Mark Wayne Mullen, as you may or may not realize, is a sitting senator here, which should have no problem in the confirming process as it goes forward, because the Senate and the House usually take very good care of their own, as we've seen happen in the past. It is interesting at best that people like Hakeem Jefferies will step up to a microphone yesterday and celebrate what he believes is a win on his part and says that he got her fired. Well, he couldn't get anyone fired because this guy is a pathological liar. When he steps up, the American people, the American people, the American people, he's full of it. Because he's there for one reason, because he has high hopes and expectations of being the next Speaker of the House, which he is not capable of doing the job that he has currently. So why would anybody consider him for that position, knowing the amount of lies that he's been caught in the name of the American people? It's hard to believe, but Kristi Noem really made her own bed with spending over $220 million on a TV ad so she could ride a horse at Mount Rushmore, and that backfired. There were several mistakes made in the Minnesota incidents that were taking place out there, and this is the price that you pay for making mistakes. Is she fired? Yes, she's out of that position, but I would not call it a firing. I think it was a lateral move. She's going into a new position, whether it's a cabinet position or an appointed position, I'm not quite sure of, but she's not being put in the streets like a bad girl that the Democratic side of the aisle would like to paint it. They needed a scapegoat. Just as they're going to need a scapegoat for the uncoverings of the Epstein files and the like. Fortunately, I believe it's going to be Lutnick that gets thrown under that bus. But the bus that just passed took away Kristi Noem, and that gave some relief to the anxiety of the Democratic side that is so worried about their illegal population being deported. They are so worried about us having the ability to control our border. They are so worried about the fact that the criminal element is being taken to task. They want to protect the criminal element, and I, for one, would like someone to tell me out of the Democratic Party, why do you believe that you should take care of illegal immigrants that belong to another country that may be here with criminal records? Why do you want to protect them so badly? Is it the votes? Because that's what it appears to most thinking Americans anymore. It's the voting population. It's unbelievable when you stop, look, and listen to some of the things that they have to say, and the rhinos that go along with them are highly suspicious. You'll see a little later on in this program where AOC gets caught in her own insanity when it comes to what she has to say about the Epstein files. We'll get to that a little later because we have some more things to go through. But the Kristi Noem departing is not something that we should celebrate. It's something that is a correct move made by the President of the United States, who has the power to do that. Was he forced to do that, as Hakeem Jefferies and Schumer will come out and tell you? I highly doubt it. You don't force Donald Trump to do anything he doesn't want to do. They should know that by now, and they should take to task the fact that all of the screaming, hollering, and whipping up through rhetoric, the bad behavior that we see in the streets today, are a direct result of their inability to understand why they were elected and why they're sitting in the House or the Senate, and who put them there, who voted for them to go in and do a job that they all forgot how to do. They all like to sit in hearings and belittle people, but they're not doing the job that they were elected to do, which is protecting the United States of America population, the legal population. They decided to get behind the illegal population because they feel that that's their new voting place to go. Why would you protect criminals over the citizens of this country? Answer me that. Any of you Democrats out there that think you have the answer to that, we have a comment section below, and I would love to hear your opinions or your excuses on why you would go out of your way to protect people that came to this country with bad intent, or came to this country and enriched themselves to send your tax dollars back to the country that they came from. And without shading it at all, this is what took place. It's not just in Minnesota. We need to realize that there are other states that are just as bad or worse with the regard to the waste of tax dollars, the regard of the fact that you have politicians that are in the millions of dollars over a very short period of time. And no explanations and no questions asked of these people. I, for one, would like to know how you amass $30 to $40 million sitting in a $170,000 a year, $200,000, let's be generous, a year salary. With the current situation that we have right now, it is traceable. Why do you think that they wanted to get rid of Doge so badly? It's been uncovered. They're screaming now and hollering about the loss of their instant money that they had as a personal slush fund state by state with no accountability. Where can you go and get a job and not have to the accountability to show what you do for that salary that you're being paid in that position? You'd be hard-pressed. Let's take a look here at Kristi Noem's sad departure yesterday.
Well, big shakeup is happening in the Trump administration. The president is firing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem. Democrats have been pushing for this. Doug Lazater joins us live from Washington with reaction to this news. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. Kristi Noem is out. Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin is now in, assuming he can get through Senate confirmation. Funding for the Department of Homeland Security, though, is still up in the air.
The chaos in Minnesota as protesters clashed with federal immigration agents. Just one of the factors that appears to be behind the ouster of Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
America's the greatest country in the world.
Noem was speaking at a conference in Nashville as news of her firing began to spread. And administration officials said Noem was tarnished by everything from infidelity claims to clashes with other officials.
Our greatness calls people to us.
And this $220 million ad campaign for DHS was difficult to defend, with Noem telling Congress this week that the president knew about it.
Did the president know you were going to do this?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
Okay.
The White House said that wasn't true.
That was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, but the pressure had been building. She did not have a lot of allies in the West Wing.
I've got to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting the call today, but super excited.
Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin, a friend of Noem's, will get the nomination now to succeed her. Some Democrats already oppose him. But will this change help break the logjam over the current funding shutdown for DHS? Just yesterday, Democrats once again blocked a funding bill.
The president has fired Kristi Noem. Good riddance. But the problems at this agency, at ICE, transcend any one person. The rot is deep.
Noem, meantime, is getting something of a soft landing. She's going to become a special envoy to a group called the Shield of the Americas. This is a new security initiative for the Western Hemisphere. And back to you guys.
I kind of liked her. I think that she did have a list of things that she did accomplish in that position. And I think that the news media needs to cut her a break and maybe say some nice things about her accomplishments rather than her faux pas, because we all make mistakes in this life. It's not hard to go through life without making mistakes. And whether or not an affair took place or not, this is all conjecture on the part of a news media that will sensationalize the bad and cover up the good every turn of the dial. They all sing from the same hymn book, and that's the hymn book of propaganda. And this is what you're being inundated with right now. Pure propaganda with regard to the Iran situation, what this cabinet has accomplished, what this president has accomplished. The propaganda is totally against it. So they will tell you what they believe that you should believe, and this is why I say tune out from mainstream media. It's not any good. There carried a few things about Kamala showing up in Michigan yesterday, I guess in Detroit, to try to talk to small business people. It was a lackluster turnout. Let me just point that out before we go any further. And then she's on about her opinion on the Iraq war, which was so full of hypocrisy that it was laughable. I guess that these politicians don't remember or care to remember that they spouted things off that's on film early on when they're running for a different office and they want to convince you that they feel one way rather than the other. And then in situations like this, it comes out and bites them in the rear end because they forgot that they said what they said in 2, 3, 4 years ago, and in some cases 10 years ago. We see this every day with our Congress people that thought one way under Biden and now completely on the opposite side under Trump because of mostly Trump derangement syndrome. Kamala never got over the fact that we didn't anoint her and her word salads. But let's take a look at the hypocrite herself as she shows up in Detroit with more hypocrisy than you can pack in a bag.
So I am here in the beautiful city of Detroit to visit one of the incredible small businesses. But before I go in, I want to address what we learned today. Donald Trump has dragged us into a war the American people do not want.
No, he hasn't.
He has put American troops in harm's way. I unequivocally oppose this war of choice, and everyone should. And the bottom line, when it comes down to it, is that if we want to stop Donald Trump,
that's not going to happen.
With this random decision that he has arrived at, then Congress must act, and Congress must act immediately. The American people do not want our sons and daughters to go into this unauthorized war of choice, and I unequivocally oppose it. Thank you.
Oh, it's funny you should say that.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
Well, there are different reasons that we should be thoughtful about each. Most recently, I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran.
What a hypocrite!
I mean, Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? And what we saw in terms of just this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles, what we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power.
So that's just what he's doing.
They can never have a nuclear weapon.
That is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, would you take military action?
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals at this moment.
Oh, now I get it. She's a moron.
She will never change. The spots on a leopard can't change. I don't know what she's setting herself up for on this tour of cities around, but it seems to be that she is predicated to hitting the Muslim high population cities before anything else. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's more chicanery, I will guarantee you. If she's involved, there's a subversive plot behind it. There's no doubt in my mind. You'll hear me talk here from time to time on Weekend at Bernie's in our Congress. We have a geriatric ward of Congress that was very amusing and funny for the longest time. And when you put it into Stupid Town, people got a giggle out of it. But it's no longer becoming funny. It's sad when you stop and think about people such as Rosa DeLauro that take on to the microphone in these hearings and questioning of people that may know how to do the job that they know nothing about. But it's interesting on the geriatric side of things. Is there any other reason to clamor soon for term limits of these people? They're in there, and it has become, in some cases, amusing to watch, but sad when they have to wheel them up at 84 years old to vote on something that's going to affect all of you young people out there. Should be incensed over the fact that these people are making the laws that you're going to have to live by in your lifetime. People like us that have lived our lives and been a success in some cases, in some cases not. But we have seen it. We've lived it. We have worked through it and survived. You guys are all relegated to new ideas, which is a good thing, because with each generation, there is a change in mind and ideas that are probably, in most cases, good ideas. Look at the advances that we've made in computers in my lifetime. Air travel, train travel. You look at the massive advances that have been made in supercomputers recently, and the advent of AI-driven everything. You guys are in for an interesting time to be alive in your lifetime. It was a fabulous time to be alive in my lifetime, and I am so much enjoying this part of my lifetime because it is so interesting. If we stop and just think for a minute and get away from all of the distractions that are being put at us by the propaganda machine, what is media, and a Congress full of people that are so past their sell-by date that they cannot understand the new innovations coming along. Where would we be if no one listened to Leonardo da Vinci on some of the inventions that he came up with? Alexander Graham Bell, we have a list. I know that the school stopped teaching history to most people. The public school systems did. And people suffer from it today because they don't understand the true history. They don't understand a thing about the Korean War. They know very little other than a TV movie or a book written by about World War II. We don't know that. Most of the people my age had parents that, at least one parent that went to World War II. Some of us Korean War. Then the Vietnam era is totally misinterpreted. You got people like Ken Burns. They came out with his particular ideas of what the Vietnam War was and what took place there. It's an interesting thing for you to understand. You need to be taught about each of these things through your educational process, so when you end up in Congress, you can make the correct decisions. You can understand the decisions that someone like Pete Hegseth has to make every day, or a president of the United States that has his hand on the controls that will release weaponry that we'll never recover from. The biggest fear that we all should have right now is that we have some people with lesser IQs around the world with their fingers on those buttons that could destroy this entire earth. Whether or not God will allow that to happen is something that we have to sit and wonder about. But you need to keep your faith about you at all times, because the demons in the world are at loose. And they rely on the uneducated, the dumbed down, and the silliness of people that you see that do not understand what the truths are. Whether it's a lack of education or just a simple fact that some people just do not care. They better start to care, or they're going to be hard-pressed to feed themselves if the wrong thing happens. We told you here for years to be prepared to understand how to feed yourself, how to prep for a bad day at Black Rock. And if you have done these things, you're going to survive. If you have the armor of God on and you're on God's side, you will survive. The people who follow the dark side and want to see chaos and upheaval may or may not survive. However, these are things that we have to be ready for and understand as they come at us, how we can defend against it or roll with that flow. So let's think about the geriatric side of Congress and what we can do about it as the voting population of this United States. We can change things. Unfortunately, the same lawmakers that are sitting in the geriatric division of Congress are the ones that will block term limits because they don't want to get off of that train that we call the government gravy train. That's the problem.
I thank the ranking member for yielding. Mr. Speaker, the bill at issue today is not a serious legislative effort. It is political theater.
It is political theater. How ironic.
We're going to negotiate reforms to ICE, Customs Border Protection. It's underway. What are those reforms? There's broad protection to support. Prohibit the detention or deportation of U.S. citizens. Prohibit operations at sensitive locations like schools and houses of worship.
Jesus, you got a one-track mind. It's always
Politics, 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 politics.
Let me just say what I am sick and tired of is listening to the crocodile tears that are being shed on the other side of the aisle for the federal employees who work at these agencies. They could care less.
They could care less. Couldn't. For the love of God!
I'll give you examples. The president's budget had a $500 million cut to cybersecurity. Where were they when that happened? Where were they when President Trump and Kristi Noem talked about dismantling the FEMA?
FEMA. Well spoken.
Where were they on all of these bills where they had their guru, Elon Musk?
Their guru, Elon Musk,
said 1,000 people could go from the cybersecurity agency. Not a peep out of them for there. It is disingenuous. They know it. The public knows it. And in fact, they want to support ICE. They want to support CBP, but they don't want to support the federal employees. Vote no on the previous question. I yield back.
Look, just calm down, all right? Take it easy. Calm.
So we saw Rosa DeLauro. And what is the end result of any of her ranting and raving? Nothing. This is what usually happens with our Congress anymore. So that'll take us to what does it all mean today. We have a little meme thing to show you that will put a smile on some faces and anger others, but take it as you see it.
I'm retarded?
No one.
Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy, yummy, you guys. This is not America!
I'm so upset. I cannot believe this is happening to our country. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself, Governor Abbott. All y'all.
You know what? She deleted 33,000 emails.
How that could possibly happen. How anyone could be that irresponsible. And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that I mean names of people who helped or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
I think it's disgraceful what she's done.
I mean, honest to God, that's all I think.
Well, that'll bring us to our faith corner here, where we'll talk a little bit about filling your day with joy rather than hate or a hardened heart against a person, place, or thing. And it will help you get through your day as you move along, with the idea that joy should be in your heart. It will help your work, it will help your relationships, and it'll make your home a fun place to go and spend time with friends and family. So let's bring joy and a prayer of joy into our hearts today.
Dear Heavenly Father, life often brings responsibilities and pressures, but I know real joy is found in your presence. I thank you because your goodness fills my life with lasting happiness. Father, remind me that joy is not dependent on perfect circumstances. Even when situations change, your love remains constant. I thank you because your presence gives my heart a reason to rejoice in every season. Lord, remove heaviness, discouragement, and silent sadness that sometimes tries to settle in my spirit. Fill my heart with lightness and hope. I thank you because your joy has the power to lift my soul. Heavenly Father, teach me to celebrate the simple blessings I often overlook. Help me notice the beauty in everyday moments. I thank you because gratitude naturally opens the door for joy to grow. Father, let my joy come from knowing that I am loved, forgiven, and guided by you. Anchor my happiness in eternal truth. I thank you because joy rooted in you cannot easily be taken away. Lord, allow my joyful spirit to encourage those around me. Let my words bring smiles and comfort. I thank you because joy shared with others multiplies its impact. Heavenly Father, help me guard my mind from negativity that steals my peace. Replace complaining with praise. I thank you because focusing on your goodness fills my heart with renewed joy. Father, when challenges arise, remind me that joy and faith can still exist together. Strengthen my spirit during those moments. I thank you because your joy provides strength even in difficult seasons. Lord, fill my home, my relationships, and my daily work with a joyful atmosphere. Let laughter and gratitude grow. I thank you because your blessings bring delight to every area of my life. Heavenly Father, today I choose joy rooted in your love and faithfulness. Let my heart overflow with praise and gratitude. I thank you because with you as my source, my joy remains steady and full. Amen.
I hope you prayed that prayer along with us. It's a wonderful prayer, and I, for one, feel the joy of an upcoming weekend that will just happen to have some beautiful weather happening here. So I'm looking forward to barbecuing out and spending some time outdoors this weekend. And if you have an opportunity to take a walk on the beach or a walk through the woods, or go out and do some physical labor on the land and get it ready for maybe your garden. Maybe if you have room in your backyard or on your balcony, you can put in a raised garden this year. Grow some vegetables that are good for you. It will help your mind, and it will help your own spirit to see the beautiful work of God as the vegetables grow in your garden and feed you at the end of a season where you have enough left over to can in some cases, and you'll enjoy it all winter long. It's a lot of work, but it's satisfying work. It's not busy work, but it is hard work to keep and cultivate a garden, especially if you have a large garden. It's constant work, but the payback is wonderful. The bountiful harvest that you will receive and feed you, the nourishment of your body and soul with, will be a great help to your psyche and to your well-being. So, as the prayer said, fill your day with joy. Think of these things. Go out, listen to the wind bring you the message from God on how to act and how to react. It's the biggest part of the problem is not the situation that you're confronted with, but your reaction to that situation means an awful lot. And it means an awful lot to keeping your heart pure and free of hate, because hate is what is destroying this world right now. And we need to replace that hate with joy, happiness. We all strive for happiness every day, and very few of us will achieve it, because when is enough enough? That's the question of ages that will never be answered as far as I'm concerned. So let's take a look into that exit that we all like here, the exit to Stupid Town, for a brief look at more insanity.
And even unalived threats for just wearing a tail in public. So I'm going to be wearing a tail all the time now. All these haters are clearly slimy weirdos who hate themselves with nothing better to do and are either cowards or never go outside. Most of the comments are nice and I've received nothing but compliments in the real world. They know nothing of the real world and live in delusion. Today I was complimented by a woman in a thick bendy hat at the market and a man at the sporting goods store who said he wants a tail now too. My friend made a good point that it's pretty much just transphobia in disguise. What a sad life they live. I hope they are able to feel comfortable with themselves one day, because putting down others like...
Well, that'll bring us out of Stupid Town and into the realm of insanity with AOC. One more time, being so hypocritical that it is disgusting. This has to do with the Epstein files, that she was tantamount to saying that they had to be released. And now when it came to the point where they want to release the misuse by Congress of sexual abuse, they voted it down. Let's take a look at AOC here.
To abide by.
What do you say to your administration released enough of the Epstein files to your satisfaction?
Pardon?
Have you gotten enough of the Epstein files to your satisfaction?
This administration, the Trump administration, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Pam Bondi, are engaged in one of the greatest cover-ups that we have seen when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and protection of people that are in power and close to power. It is horrifying. My thoughts are with the victims, but what I am encouraged by is the House Oversight Committee's continued pursuit in their subpoenas against Lex Wexner and others, and we will continue the fight for justice for victims of these crimes.
Do you think Bill Clinton...
The Trump administration, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Pam Bondi, are engaged in one of the greatest cover-ups that we have seen when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and protection of people that are in power and close to power. It is horrifying. My thoughts are with the victims. We will continue the fight for justice for victims of these crimes.
Do you think Bill Clinton? And she lied.
Protection of people that are in power and close to power.
Why are we hiding what they were capable of doing while they're the ones screaming all along, only for the fact that they thought that they were going to get something on Donald Trump out of the Epstein situation? Didn't work out for them. But now that it came around to where it could point fingers at congressional people, they want it stopped. What's that all about? It is not a clean slate in our Congress when it comes to bad behavior. I'm not going to point a finger at any one individual, but there's something there that they're covering up. And I would like to know what it is, but you know what? I don't want to waste time thinking about it or hearing any more about this pedophile's bad behavior and the people that went along with it. I saw enough with Bill Clinton grabbing those pictures back and enjoying it one more time. That should have pointed right out to you then and there that let the chips fall where they may. I don't care what Hillary has to say. I really don't care about what any of these people have to say because they all lie. They all shade things to make you think it's this way when it was that way all the time. So she needs to just wise up and realize that she has shot her wad as far as being believable as a congressional person in my book. And I hope that the people in New York will wake up and realize that they can't afford to make any more mistakes after the huge mistake they made in electing the mayor that they elected in that beautiful city. The people in Virginia are suffering terribly under their decision because they thought that they were going to get free for all for everybody. Look at what she's done with this criminal that killed this person at a bus stop. A mother lost her life because they kept putting an illegal person who was convicted of stabbing someone several times in the past, assault, and a laundry list of arrests back into the street. And Spamberger says, well, without a warrant, we're not going to release them to ICE. What? First of all, what they need to realize is the law does not require a bench warrant for ICE to pick up anybody. It's an administrative warrant issued by ICE. If we had an educational process in this country, we would all understand that you don't need that. Obviously, Spamberger does not understand it, so she's going to pass legislation that will ensure that the people and the criminals in Virginia can remain in the streets to do more harm by her misguided thinking. Incorrect thinking is rampant in our politician society today. They must have a course in it that they all sit through. especially the Democratic side. And by no means, I don't mean to protect the right side either, because they're just as bad. So it is the weekend, and I hope that you're all prepared to go out, smile at someone, and enjoy this upcoming weekend, whether it's with friends, family, or just a lonely walk in the woods. Enjoy it. Feel the joy that is all around you at any given time, and push away the hateful thoughts, the bad thoughts, the impure thoughts. Let it all fall away. The joy of Christ should be in your heart in this Lenten season, and I hope that you all experience it. It's a wonderful feeling. So with that, we're going to wish you here a wonderful weekend, a blessed weekend, and hold on, because if something major happens, we will have a special weekend report. But if not, we'll be back here on Monday morning to give you all of the rundown of the Sunday lying fest that will take place on the mainstream media and through legacy media. So until Monday, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned here to the Kaiser Report for more commentary and a satirical look in some cases at the bizarro world that we live in today. Bye-bye now. God bless you all.